Today's episode of the Cantina is brought to you by Grow Generation. Whether you're at the Death Star or the Senate, they have everything you need to grow right where you are. More from them later in the episode.
Welcome to a galaxy far, far away. Here at the Cantina Podcast, we provide top shelf service, including rumors, leaks, news, and reviews. Come in, order a Loman Ale, and remember, no droids allowed.
Hey, welcome back to the Cantina, everyone. We're back again, weekly. This is LRM's main Star Wars show, our really only Star Wars focused show. And my name is Cam Clark. I am one of your co-hosts, and I am here, as always, with Mr. Kyle Malone. How are you, Kyle?
I'm doing all right, guys. How's it going? Hey, check out GenreVerse Podcast Network wherever you're listening to us right now on your favorite app. We're everywhere. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Leave some comments, follow, like all that stuff. Social media information down below, and LRMonline.com, GenreVerse.com, and I'm excited but apprehensive. I'm conflicted today, Cam. How are you doing with all the Star Wars?
Conflicted about, Kale? Is this a big, I don't know, crisis you're having in some way?
It's not really that. It's more like this whole thing about trailers and stuff. The whole everyone's thirsty for footage, including us. I'm not hating on anyone, wanting stuff from Kenobi or anything, but part of me is so afraid of what I'm going to see that I'm almost like kind of upset that it might be coming.
You're apprehensive about what Obi-Wan's trailer might be like in case it's something you don't like, because you want to like it and you're worried that you won't like it in some way. I kind of get that. Okay, I get that, and I think maybe that just kind of highlights the importance of this one. It's Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's got a little bit more riding on it than most things that we've seen. Just because it's it's Darth Vader, it's Obi-Wan Kenobi, it's Uncle Ben, and potentially other people that we want to see, Inquisitors and all that sort of stuff. So let's just talk about Obi-Wan Kenobi trailers. So everybody and their auntie is kind of out there at the moment, wondering when the first trailer for Obi-Wan Kenobi will hit. There was a lot of theories that were coming out. I remember before Super Bowl that it could hit in Super Bowl. Do you remember that? I don't think we actually covered it, but there was certainly nothing like a rumor, but just people speculating. I wonder if this could be it.
Really hoping.
So when is it going to come? Well, we don't know, is the honest answer, but other people do claim to know, and we'll kind of get into that. What we have heard, certainly from our sources, and Shockey covered a little article today, is there is a trailer, it's done, it's ready to go, but we're not getting any, because we've been stung by this before, we're not getting any trailer predictions about when we'll see that trailer, because it's so sketchy, and it's just too easy to get it wrong, so we're just going to stay away from it. But we will debate it ourselves rather than kind of predicting. And honestly, what the kind of rumours are about it are not something that I was expecting. I don't know about you, Kel, but I was starting to think now they might just really leave this till very, very close to it before we get something.
Last week, you and I were like, could they potentially wait for a full maybe do just a real light teaser, but do the full trailer May 4th.
And who's to say? I mean, we were told there's a trailer ready to go.
We weren't no told detail on what that means.
Was it a proper?
What does teaser mean these days? I've seen two minute long teasers.
Yeah, it's so variable. It really is so variable, and you can get a teaser that is just 30 seconds, and that can be enough sometimes as well to kind of whet the appetite. Yeah, I get you on that. So we don't know kind of what we're getting, but something's going to come eventually. And we kind of thought it might be quite late. And I even thought that they could leave the full trailer till as late as May the 4th. Yep. And do it on May the 4th. And then, that's just a few weeks before the show actually launches on Disney Plus for the first time, 25th, yeah. And 25th then leads into 2 days of Star Wars celebration on 26th and 27th as well. So, that was kind of my tip. However, the rumours that we are hearing, I think what we covered was Corey and Aubrey on Convor Call were talking about it, and they kind of thought it would release along with the next Disney shareholder meeting, which is apparently being streamed online, which they don't normally do. So it may be an opportunity.
A while, like 2 years ago, they had that online bit, yeah.
So it kind of gives them an opportunity, possibly, to kind of throw that in there. So they kind of thought March 9th. Interestingly, there's also MSW's Jason Ward did a video this week, and he had said that he's actually had a source tell him that it'll come on either March. We kind of had heard two things. It seemed to be March 9th or 10th, which, there's not much in between that. But considering the shareholder meeting's the 9th, it kind of would have made sense for it to be the 9th more than the 10th to me. But again, this isn't our information. So, if you've probably got the story up there anyway. The links are all in there. If anybody's reading the story on there, if you want to go watch the video that Jason Ward made and obviously see what he said for herself, you can go watch a Convor Call and see what those guys were talking about as well. But we know there is a trailer ready, and we know it's going to come at some point. But that's the theory at the moment from other insiders, that they're saying that they think March 9th. We're not going to jump in that bandwagon, but we'll certainly be ready to cover it if it does drop.
But I'll say that this it wasn't an investors call, but it was investors day. That was the first time,
that was slightly different.
They streamed it all, but they did have certain footage, including the sizzle reel that we've seen now. The general public was shown at that call 2 years ago now almost, and I wonder if March 9th certain people will see it, and then maybe the 10th it hits YouTube.
I mean, yeah,
I don't know, maybe
that is possible, Kyle. I never really thought of it.
Maybe that's where they're hearing two things. Who knows? Yeah.
I mean, Disney just are so, especially Lucasfilm side of Disney, are so sketchy when they're going to do things with trailers. And there seems to be always lots of false dawns before it actually arrives.
Yeah.
Like, there's always a false prediction or two before we get it. It kind of feels as if, they all want it now. Nah, we're going to wait another week. We're going to wait 2 weeks. And there's a part of me kind of thinks that might happen again, but who knows? We shall see in about 6 days' time. 5 days' time, depending on when you're watching this. Of course, you may not be watching it as soon as it's published.
Yeah.
There's a few other things about Obi-Wan Kenobi as well.
Yeah.
That we've covered this week, just on the kind of whole Obi-Wan thing. I guess that probably the biggest part is that we do finally have a rumour that Qui-Gon Jinn might show up in Obi-Wan Kenobi. Oh, you were going the other way, were you?
Yeah, you're good. Keep going. Qui-Gon already got it switched.
Qui-Gon. So this is something, actually, I mean, way back, we had kind of done a story saying we had heard he wasn't in it, but this was like even before it shot, like so far ago. So certainly there was no hanging our kind of coat hats on that one at the time. And that did seem to be the case based on what Liam Neeson was saying as well. But as we all know, it wouldn't take very long, and it sounds as if maybe he's snuck in, done a little bit of days filming, and we might get a bit of Qui-Gon Jinn, whether it's just as a voice or a Force ghost, do not know. But basically this came initially from MSW, again, Jason Ward, who said they had heard that, but Bespin Bulletin also kind of backed that up as well. They kind of ran MSW's story, but also said, kind of, we're hearing the same thing, but they were waiting for more information before they kind of released it, because again, they don't know, is it just his voice? Is he actually physically there? And there are some, what's the word I'm looking for? Story reasons why there may be a debate on that one as well.
I always thought back when this idea was even just like a fan theory or fan writing, was he teaches Obi-Wan Force Ghost technique, right?
Yeah,
because it's in the novelization. He taught Yoda, and so I still think that's likely what this will be is a time of Obi-Wan. And they might even age him up. No, like he could feel the Force closing in. So like the closing scene of Obi-Wan Kenobi is him doing this training. They've aged, Ewan up, and it's Qui-Gon teaching him that last trick that he's gonna need to use. Let go, Luke.
It could be, obviously it's been 10 years since he kind of began his training. That would have began where Yoda was going to teach him how to commune with Qui-Gon, and then Qui-Gon was basically teaching both Yoda and Obi-Wan in their exclusion. One of the people in this actually had said in the comment, Qui-Gon be Yoda's master, basically. I don't think so. And I was like, no, yeah, that is actually what happened. Yeah, like Yoda actually submitted himself to the teachings of Qui-Gon, who contacted him. I mean, it's at the end of Revenge of the Sith. You know, he hears Qui-Gon's voice. He tells Obi-Wan training he's got for him in his isolation on Tatooine, etc., and has explored more in the Clone Wars as well. So, very much so, this is Qui-Gon sort of apprenticing both Obi-Wan and Yoda at the same time. Though one would imagine Yoda's further down the path at that point than, he's
in
already
events,
in the Clone Wars. He does a few things that kind of set him on that path already. Yeah. So whereas Obi-Wan's kind of just starting from scratch. But yeah, still 10 years has gone by. We know he's completely learned everything by the time we see him again 10 years later. But we don't really know enough about it yet to kind of know where and when Qui-Gon could come into the picture, and whether he would be a Force ghost or if he's just a voice, because he's only really appeared as a Force ghost so far in the Clone Wars, and that's because Yoda went to a special place where Qui-Gon sort of explains he's able to do it there because he never quite finished his, he was kind of teaching himself, if you like. And there's all other crazy shit that you won't like involved in it as well, but I actually quite liked it. Yeah, I actually quite like that side of things. And that are kind of teaching him and stuff like that as well. So, I don't know. We'll wait and see on that one. I'd be happy enough. I'm just really hoping that this is 100% true, because I've always said right from the start I wanted a conversation at some point between Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon, and I'd be happy with a voice from the ether. That would do me, honestly. I don't need to see Liam Neeson on screen, but if he is, great, fantastic, I'll take that as well, 100%. Why not? I guess some other Obi-Wan news we had as well. What was it again?
The new character, the Obi-Wan's story plot.
So these are some actual sort of potential plot details that again were first published by Making Star Wars. I guess we should maybe spoiler warning people a little bit here.
I already put it up on the screen.
You've already done that, yeah.
But for the audio folks, you get an extra warning.
Just we're not saying this is legit or anything like that.
No, but potential. There's
absolutely potential here. So if you just want to be absolutely cold, listen away now. We'll probably be done in about 5:10. There's not too much to this anyway.
No. I can read off what the Making Star Wars quote is.
You go for it.
Obi-Wan has spent a decade of his life after Order 66 keeping his head down. Every move Kenobi makes is calculated and the risks are weighed. Kenobi does not make a move that will draw any attention to himself or endanger Luke Skywalker. However, their safety is shattered when a young Jedi straggler named Nari finds his way to Tatooine. Inspired by Obi-Wan Kenobi's message from the Jedi Beacon, he has been on a decade-long quest of his own. He wants to find Kenobi, achieve refuge, and restore the Jedi Order. What Nari does not know is Obi-Wan has a secret mission bigger than anything Nari could dream of. Obi-Wan does not want to be found, and Nari is jeopardizing Kenobi's mission, and he does not even realize it.
So, I mean, this kind of fits in with the other things that we know as well, that the Inquisitors kind of come across Obi-Wan Kenobi in some way. It may be that this Nari, whether that's the correct character name or just some sort of placeholder, we don't know.
Placeholder, yeah.
Where they kind of bring the heat to Tatooine, which is not good. Ultimately, Obi-Wan doesn't really want that heat on Tatooine. Mm-hmm. Although we kind of knew that the MacGuffin of this already was that Leia is imprisoned somewhere, and that's what gets Obi-Wan off-world, if you like. This seems like an extra wheel or an extra spoke in that wheel, don't you think, Kel? Where an extra reason to leave.
My theory is Kenobi takes this Nari kid to go be dropped off elsewhere to get off Tatooine, and there's where he gets either contacted by the rebellion, contacted by Bail, something.
Maybe the brief run-in with Obi-Wan before that is what kind of gets them to do some sort of trap for Jedi or something. Yeah,
so that's kind of what I'm thinking is this. He can't let the kid go off on his own and risk him. So he's got to get him somewhere safe.
This Nari's fate doesn't sound good to me. I have to say, I don't see this Nari living because someone for Vader to kill and really piss off Obi-Wan even more. I mean, that just seems too tempting not to do that. Yeah.
That's what I think.
Him again. So.
That's what I think gets him off-world, seeing that this Nari shows up. Obi-Wan can't just, I'm not going to let a young Jedi off into the wilderness like that. It's not right. Plus, he endangers
At the same time,
he
can't do what he wants, can he? Because,
And so I think he goes to take him somewhere safe and then gets picked up on this. Do me one last solid, bro.
Yeah, it does make sense. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, this kid, whether he's a kid or not, I'm not sure actually, but younger Jedi anyway is obviously probably hoping, we've got Obi-Wan now, let's go kick the Empire's butt, and really Obi-Wan ain't about that at the moment. He's like, chill, bro, because you ain't the chosen one, and there ain't any chance that you're going to be strong enough to defeat Darth Vader, so I'm going to put all my chickens in the loot basket for now, and that means you are surplus to requirements, goodbye. And that's kind of must be what's going through Obi-Wan's head, but obviously his morality wouldn't allow him to just he would. I guess it gives him conflict, and for a character, we want them to have conflict in some way, don't they? So we kind of see how they deal with that conflict. Usually, it's kind of how drama works, But sometimes Star Wars does forget that in space of pew pew and bang bang. So there's that as well.
It happens.
Shall we take a little break and a little listen to our sponsors?
I think so. That sounds good.
Grow Generation, where the pros go to grow. From propagation to harvest, they have everything you need for your special garden. Grow Generation serves customers across the nation and carries a wide inventory of renowned cultivation brands. Go to www.growgeneration.com, where the pros go to grow.
Cam, I like tight little packaging. Oh, guys, welcome back. No, tight episodes where we got a good, concise, cover the news and we don't get sidetracked like last week. Thanks, GrowGen. Cam, something that a lot of people used as like this rallying cry for and or against Disney's Star Wars is back in the news. Rogue Squadron.
Yeah.
Talk about it a bit.
Well,
man.
I mean, Disney released their slate just this last week, and Rogue Squadron is still dated on that slate for December 2023. Now, we know there's been a ton of reports. We ourselves have said there's been some issues with that movie. But really, the main thing that we're talking about is there's been reports from the trades that there's severe delays in that movie. Patty Jenkins' schedule changed slightly. Then it seemed to kind of change back again after that as well, which was a little bit weird, kind of not sure what the hell is going on with Rogue Squadron at the moment. We had heard, and we've said before, that there were some technical limitations that needed to be worked out before they could push ahead with this in the way that they want to do it. But yeah, Disney never, ever officially cancelled this movie or delayed this movie. They've never commented on it whatsoever in an official capacity yet. So actually, it would have been kind of bigger news almost. It would have been them commenting, I should say, possibly, if it was just disappeared or if it appeared somewhere else in the slate instead. That would have been a kind of a bigger, more dramatic thing to talk about. So the fact that it's kind of still there is just a nothing. But at the same time, do we actually, I mean, Kel, let me ask you this. Do you think Rogue Squadron hits theatres December 23? That's not that long.
As of right now, no. We've got an ear that hears things about the studios, especially Pinewood. We hear things about that place and Production Weekly posts and just everything you look at and you're just like,
no hint of it.
Patty Jenkins public schedules and you just start connecting dots. It's not impossible, and you assume there's a lot of pre work that can be done.
They can film a 6-7 hour TV show in just a few months, ultimately.
Yep. But as of right now, I still have issues with this. But LRM and by proxy now the GenreVerse podcast network, we were one of the ones to come out early on and be like, guys, we don't think this is canceled completely.
No, that's just not what we're here.
We weren't trying to take sides. It's just like when KK's contract stuff was being discussed yet again, we're like, guys, they would have said, like, it's coming up, like they would have said that they're finding a replacement, so you can assume that she's going to continue on. And that's why I said, like, this movie became a rallying cry because people looked at it again. It was another movie going into production issues under Kathleen Kennedy, which is a valid argument. There's been a lot of issues with Lucasfilm Productions under her, but there's been a shit ton of money made too.
Yeah, and there's been some good stuff as well, but the good stuff kind of been on Disney Plus, to be honest. Not really in movie theaters for us anyway. You may be insane and love those sequel trilogies. Go for it. We weren't big fans ultimately.
Nope.
But yeah, I mean, as far as all we can say is, like, as far as we know at the moment, there is no rumours it's been canned. There is some rumours that there was delays to when they were going to film it. But does that mean that they're not going to get it filmed and still out before December 23? I wouldn't bet on it. I wouldn't bet that it won't hit. I'm not confident, but I kind of think it could get maybe pushed another year or something like that, or not be a December thing. Although they
take
kind
Star Wars
of
back to
try to always do that.
I don't know.
Star Wars winter and Marvel's got the rest of the year basically covered, which it does. It's the only time you can kind of we don't usually get something apart from Spider-Man, which was just out in December. But yeah, you know, I mean, no, we don't normally get a December film from Marvel. So probably December suits them. So maybe they will kind of try and push for it and still get it out from that date.
I mean, like I said, if they're do enough pre-work now, you know, not just the pre-viz work, but you know, there's a lot of scenes, action things that you're sure are going to be heavily effects or oriented. You start building the environments for the volume. You start building X-wing cockpits. Like there's a lot.
It all depends.
You can kind of stage.
The script is good enough to go already.
That is that too.
And then they have to think about. The problem always is casting. You know, when they start casting for something, it's happening.
Scheduling,
because, you know, they're going with it. That's why they've literally signed on actors, because they've booked them out. They've got them in a schedule for how long. Once you then start delaying at that point, it makes it far more difficult to keep the same actors, as we've seen over this last couple of years especially. We've seen with a lot of changes just, you know, in actors, sometimes from one season of a show onto another, because they just couldn't keep the same people going. We've seen that happen, so it is difficult. So you kind of want to go, right, this is the time we're going to shoot it, stick to it, especially with things being a lot better at the moment. So I don't know, I guess we'll have to wait till we start hearing about casting rumours.
Yeah.
Or something comes up on, you know, at Pinewood, or, you know, if that's where they're going to shoot it, or something comes up at the likes of Production Weekly or something, and take it from there. Someone else.
Yeah. Speaking of casting,
there has been a couple of bits of casting news. Nothing major, have to say. And I guess we'll start off with the Andor ones. So there's a couple of actors recently that have been confirmed as being in Andor. Now, Andor finished filming quite a while ago. It's in post-production just now. We kind of think it may be out sometime this year. However, that doesn't mean we know absolutely that everyone that's in it. I mean, look at Book of Boba Fett. We didn't know hardly anyone who was in it until the first trailer started to appear or anything. But yeah, over the kind of last week or so, we've had two actors actually confirmed that they're in it. The first one is a Scottish actor, David Heyman, who you people probably won't have heard of. But as an actor, I'm kind of familiar with. Obviously, just he's a Scottish actor. He's been on a few things on TV. I kind of, what I've seen him for is not really drama programs. I've seen him doing like some stuff where he's presenting, you know, which is maybe he talks about something on the quote here. Let's hear what he said anyway in a recent conversation that he had with the Daily Record, which is a Scottish newspaper. Everything was supposed to be top secret. About 500 film crew descended on Oban, and nobody was supposed to know what was happening. But folk were coming up to me and asking if I was doing Wonders of Scotland. That's probably what I've seen. Programme, which is a show, or Star Wars. Everybody knew that was what was happening. It was hilarious. Basically, at that time, you know, Andor was shooting there. And the record then goes on to write, the actor 74 was shooting Andor, in which he plays a key character, and pitched up in the hills behind the town last year. So, you know, this is kind of him really confirming that during that shoot he was in the actual, he was in Andor at that point. How big a role, we don't know. They say a key role, but that could still be like one episode. So
yeah.
Anyway, someone else that's in Andor is the actress. Sorry, I'm just looking at the name here. Rosalind Halstead, who I'm not familiar with. She's been in a few shows that show on British terrestrial TV, but I've not things I would watch, to be perfectly honest with you. The kind of stuff I would actively turn off. But anyway, every actor's got to start somewhere. And you know, it was a casting website called Spotlight, and our kind of friends over at Best Bin Bulletin, they must have had a subscription for it, and noticed that she was listed as playing Skulldun's wife in Andor. Who Skulldun is, no one knows. It's probably a character from Andor that we're going to meet at some point. She's not a big actress, so it's likely just an on and off kind of part. So yeah, not particularly exciting. Maybe the kind of all the casting stories, the one that might interest some fans the most, and certainly some fans will will kind of recognise is Jim O'Heir, who obviously played Jerry in Parks and Recreation.
Mm-hmm.
So recently, he kind of confirmed that he was working on something Star Wars related, and through a bit of investigation, it kind of feels like he might be in The Mandalorian season 3. He recently appeared on Parks and Recollections with Adam Yang and Rob Lowe, and they had him on talking about the show and everything like that. At the very, very end of the show, they asked Jim what he's working on just now, and he says, well, I'm kind of not supposed to say what I'm working on at the moment, but I'm in New Mexico at the moment. And then I think it's Adam then comes out and says, yeah, I won't say what you're working on either, but it kind of rhymes with Bar Wars or something like that, and it's basically like just obviously Star Wars. And they're kind of all laughing a little bit, and it's just kind of at the end of the show. But what's interesting, why we think it's Mandalorian is, if he's working on it at the moment, the only thing we know that's actually actively shooting right now is Mandalorian Season 3. If there is something else shooting for Star Wars, I don't know what it is. I've not heard anybody else know what it is. Production Weekly doesn't know what it is. So, your guess is as good as mine. The second kind of part of that might add to this is that we also know, or we think, that Bryce Dallas Howard just yesterday was in New Mexico. And we also know Bryce Dallas Howard is probably very likely to be directing at least one episode of The Mandalorian Season 3, because she has in every season so far. And we kind of all like what she's doing. So from a fan point of view, absolutely we want BDH back on directing duties for Mando Season 3. But yeah, she posted a picture because it was her birthday, and I
shared it. See?
Investigative people on Reddit have basically established that this is not her in LA or anything, but is actually New Mexico. Apparently, this is people going and checking where you can rent some of the same equipment and all that sort of stuff. I was reading a thread before I was already writing about the first half of this when I kind of browsing and I came across that and went, oh, that's interesting. And yeah, I mean, I haven't done the work, so I'm not going to say so, but apparently the eagle-eyed people on Reddit have basically worked out that she is probably filming The Mandalorian Season 3 right now somewhere in New Mexico, and that means that Jim O'Heir is probably in The Mandalorian Season 3 in some sort of capacity. What do you think
sense
about that, Neil?
I mean, it just makes sense. It's fun to see people play, what's the word I'm looking for?
Detective.
Yeah, detective like that, Yeah.
I think it's Batman. I think it's the new Batman film's got everyone being detective.
Getting everyone in the thing, Yeah. So overall, man, it's good to have a bunch of stuff to talk about, and it's nice that more Star Wars projects are coming done, becoming either in production, finishing up, and other things being announced. It gives us stuff to talk about, things to look forward to. Yeah, sure, I'm not necessarily sold on every upcoming project, but I like this type of stuff, man. I miss when it was like this during the sequel trilogy's production, and then Mando Season 1 and Season 2's production. So I don't know.
Yeah,
been fun. Any other straggler stories, or that wrap it up for
that pretty much covers it. I mean, the cast news wasn't exactly big breaking stuff there, So that
thanks for sticking around. If you guys did,
if there was anything bigger than that, we would have covered it already.
All right. Well, Cam. Not you. You already know this stuff, but everyone, you guys can check out LRMonline.com every day for all of your entertainment news, needs, and opinions. I'll transition the screen over there for you guys. Check it out. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can find that, the GenreVerse Podcast Network. Ow, that hurt my ears. We got a fun little trailer there for you guys. Hit the red subscribe button. And then, of course, anywhere you get your podcast from, we're there. Google, Spotify, Apple, SoundCloud. Great shows like Breaking Geek Radio, the podcast, Daily Cup of Genre. Not really daily, but it's still there. Anime-versal reviews, Marvel Multiverse Mayhem. We did our first movie night. You can join us for a full length commentary fan track on X-Men Origins Wolverine on your favorite podcast app, or head over to the YouTube channel and watch a supercut watermarked version, so we could show you guys the fun in a visual way. But leave some comments, reviews, thumbs ups and downs. Let us know what we're doing well and what we suck at life at, and how we can make it better. Unless it's fix our ugly mugs, because we can't do that.
Sadly, no.
Cam, anything you want to say?
You can hit me at LRM_Cam on Twitter. Also, we've got a little thing up today as well on the site. Just basically try to get people who are interested and would maybe want to come and join the team involved. We're absolutely looking to get new writers and people that either want to write about your opinions about the movies that you're watching, or a genre that we're not covering that you're a big fan of and you want to see explored more. Come talk
WWE.
about it. There's probably a lot of people like you out there that would read that. If you're like us and you want to talk about Star Wars and Marvel and DC and all that kind of good stuff, there's absolutely opportunities to do that as well. So if anyone's interested in fancies, getting into this whole writing about the things that you enjoy watching and being a fan of, then look up the details and just give us a hit, and let us know you're interested, and we'll see how we go.
Yep. Cool, guys. I guess I'll say it. May the force be with you.